All right. Hey guys, it's again one of these late or early morning quick videos. And this one, I'm going to do this to help out Jordan, who's working with the Fireflies. As some of you know, we are now I think we're still the only dealer or authorized dealer in the U.S. for this camera. It's a pretty good HD camera. I like it. It's very lightweight, very inexpensive. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold. And it performs rather well. I mean, for the dollar amount, you're gonna pay $30. You put in your SD card, and you're getting pretty good footage. What's up, Jordan? So I told Jordan I would do this to help him out, and I figured, hell, we'll just put a video together. Doubt anybody's gonna watch it right now, but if you do get a Firefly camera, this may be something that helps you down the road. So I'm gonna get ready to actually open this up, and what I'll do is I may do a split screen here again. I'm still trying to figure all this crap out on this social media, but let's see if we can make this work still. So give me 1 second and I will try to do a split screen, which may make sense, it may not. Here, let's try that. Okay. Hey Hayden, what's going on, Hayden? How you doing, bro? So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the Firefly, and I really don't care about any of the other contents here because I'm not really going through an instruction on how to use it. Hayden, I know you wanting to get one of these too, so this is something you're going to want to pay attention to. Oh, and by the way, let me just say right now, there is a bug flying around this damn place. I've got my little swatter. I'm going to beat the crap out of it when I see it. But if I happen to be mid-sentence and jump out of my chair, you'll understand why. Just giving you a heads up. Okay, so I've done this to 3 of my cameras. So far my record is 2 and 1. Okay, that means that of the 3 that I've done, 2 I have broken the glass, and 2 I have successfully done this, and 1 I have actually cracked the glass while trying to do this. So be warned ahead of time that you may experience a little bit of a problem with this, but either way, it's going to be it'll be good. It'll be easy to do. So here's the deal. What we noticed with the Firefly, and I do love the camera. I really do think that the quality for the price is pretty damn good. Sorry, I'm going to be coughing for a while. I got me a drink here. So one of the things that we've all noticed, people that have tested these out, and I've still become a dealer even knowing it because, like I said, it's a problem that can be fixed, is there is a vibration, and you'll notice it'll be kind of like a jello on your screen, and people will say, oh, that's the oscillation. Well, no, actually it's not. The Firefly lens is not permanently stuck in its spot. So if I don't know which is the best camera to hook this up, but here's a lens, right? And it sits behind this thin piece of glass. And what I've noticed on the 3 that I've opened is when you take this casing off, the lens just kind of bounces around. Now I actually have one. Hold on, I should have brought it here. It's sitting on my desk. Okay, so these are pretty much the components. Now this is a broken one that good customer of mine, he landed it in water and then tried to fix it, and I just said, look, just send it back, I'll give you a new one. So anyways, so here's what we're working with, right? So here's the lens, and here's the board, right? And this lens is actually going to pop into the circuit piece right here, and let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so it's going to slide in. This ribbon's going to actually pop in here, and this thing's just going to kind of bounce around like this. This is exactly what it looks like when you open it up. It's not fastened to anything. Inside, here's your case, right? And the lens actually fits, right, I'm sure as you already figured out, right in that, let me see how I can make you see this, right in that groove there, the lens fits. So if you had to look at it like this, and you put your thumb on there, you would hold it in place like that, okay? And if you move it, it'll come out. So that's that vibration that you see that you'll get, that people seem to think is oscillation, and it's not. The problem is when you open this up, and you are going to need a very sharp, like a X-Acto knife, or I have one. I don't think it's really sharp, but I'm going to grab it, so bear with me. Okay, so I've got my X-Acto knife, so you can get a razor blade or whatever, but it's got to be sharp. And here's the biggest thing that people do that make the mistake on this. So let me zoom out now. So to to actually get in here and fix the lens issue, you've got to take this piece of glass off, because there is a screw right behind it that holds this base together. Most people that don't know that will end up breaking that, and that's exactly what happened here when he tried to get in it. This piece is actually broken off, and so you kind of just ripped it apart, whereas if the glass had come out. So actually, since he's already kind of messed with this, I'm going to go ahead and take this one off first, and then we're going to do one, and if I break it, it'll be 2 and 2. But basically, once you take the glass off, and I've heated it, and that's how I usually get it off, then you can get to this circle right here, right? I don't know if you see that, but there's a circle right here, and in that circle is where you find the screw that holds the frame together, sorry, my hands are clumsy right now, that will hold the frame together like this, okay? Everybody just tries to kind of pry it apart, and then that's where this piece breaks off. So we're gonna get started, and I'm gonna heat this glass up just a little bit, and then I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do to fix it so you can get the jello appearance out of there. Now, if you have oscillation jello, that's not gonna fix it, obviously, but since this is glued, I usually will tend to just heat up the glass. I wanna say that the one I broke, I didn't heat up the glass, but I could very well break this one if I happen to, and guess better me than you guys. So here goes. So this is what you do. Jordan and Hayden, you're both probably going to be doing this, so just pay attention to that. Okay, so once you heat it up, you're just going to very carefully try to get your X-Acto knife in the glass, and don't bend too much. But if you heat that glue up, man, wow, I guess, oh, that did better than I thought. Great way for live footage. So if you don't heat it up, and I think that's how I broke my first one. If you don't heat it up, then you're basically just prying it, and this is very thin glass, so it's just going to snap off. Once you get to this point, right, let me zoom in a little bit. So once you get to this point, go ahead and, I cannot remember off the top of my head what, no, I can't remember what kind of screw it was. Let me see if I can see this magnifying. No, hell, I don't know. Let me just get a screwdriver and I'll let you know exactly what kind it's going to be. First we'll try, okay, it's a Phillips. So go ahead and get yourself your Phillips screwdriver, right? So once you've heated up the glass, hey Corey, we're doing a Firefly video here to show how to get in the case without breaking it, so that you can fix the jello that comes out of this, the vibration. So once you heat up the glass and you take your X-Acto knife and pry it off, go ahead and take your Phillips screwdriver and unscrew that screw that's in there. Okay. And there you go. So there's your screw. And we're going to basically set it aside. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is the only screw that's on here. Let me check the one that was. Okay, so the other one, it looks like it has a second mount, but it actually does not start from the outside. I believe that's actually once you get inside it. So go ahead now and just try to, and there you go. Once you wiggle it open, it'll pop right open just like that. Okay? So just like wiggle it. I mean, it's just got these little plastic clamps right here, these little cheapy things. So don't rip at it too much. All right, your battery is permanently soldered in there, so you're not going to be able to pull it out unless you just go ape shit on it like that one. Then you're going to need your Phillips again, and you're basically going to undo the screw that's now on the board right here. Okay, so just go ahead and do that. And you're about to see what I was talking about with this way it's fastened. So there it is. You see, as you can tell, and you need to understand how this goes back in, right? So make sure you put this back this way. You've got your microphone here, so if your mic isn't working, you can at least get there and solder it. But you see the lens, I mean, it does nothing. It's not fastened or glued down. And so what you end up with is that shakiness, just like the lens is doing now, and that's that jello that you're gonna get. So here's what I do to fix this. Now, I'm probably gonna screw this up too, but let me grab, so what I usually use is I use Gorilla Glue because it expands, but it also can cause problems with the buttons, okay? Because if it expands into the buttons, you're screwed. You can try super glue, which would work just fine. It's just that, I mean, you've got to get the super glue on the rim one way or the other of here and then press this in without getting it on the lens. So let me show you what I do, and we'll give it a shot. Okay, so again, we've got the Firefly open, and what we're going to do is we're going to fix this jello effect here. There's a couple things that you're going to need. What I do is I know I'm off camera here, but what I do is I usually take a couple rubber bands, so make sure you have those handy. And then, let's see. Okay, I'm going to take, sorry, I kind of have to step away to get a paper towel. I'm going to take a paper towel. So I've got my rubber band, my paper towel, and I'm going to get an alcohol wipe. Just because there's going to be excess glue, right? So here's what we've got. We've got our little tools here, and we're going to fix this jello issue. So what you're going to want to do, make sure you keep the lens clean, right? So make sure you keep that lens clean. And try not to move the microphone or anything. What I did is I came and put the... once I took it out, I put the Firefly back in, and you can pretty much tell which way it goes, because as you can see, here are the, sorry, let me just zoom in a little bit more, maybe that'll help. Okay, so here are the buttons, so they're obviously going to go towards the button up here, and your microphone just kind of sits in there. What we care about right now is the lens itself, right? So I will remove the ribbon, so let me just, I can't remember if this flips up or not, so let me just see. Let me zoom out so you guys can watch with me. And I don't know if it's, let me look at the other board. It's already been messed with. I haven't lost it yet. Here it is. Okay, so just to make sure, yeah, it'll flip up. Okay, so what you're gonna do then is basically just flip this up. There it goes. Pull the lens out and set your board aside. You don't really want to screw with that too much, okay? And what you're going to be working with is just this piece here. And so what I would recommend you do is make sure that you know how this board is supposed to be oriented. You know that the two switches here are going to go underneath like this, and you know your camera is going to go with the ribbon popping in this way. So basically what you're looking at is making sure that your ribbon goes towards the USB slot right here, okay? And what I did is I held it in place like this, and this works, I promise. It's not like an experiment. I mean, this actually works. It's just the way I chose to do it. Everybody else may have their own different way. So keep it like this, and here's where the rubber bands and everything's going to come into place. The minute you put that glue down, and like I said, I'm going to use the Gorilla Glue because it expands, but you kind of want to put it everywhere except on the side with the buttons, because if it expands into those buttons won't work anymore. So I'm going to take this Gorilla Glue. This is some nasty glue, but it's so strong. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my camera is perfectly straight. All right, so just make sure that it's as straight as it can be. And while it's there, and you're going to probably move it around a little bit when you move your fingers, but put your glue, get it to go inside, and understand that you don't have to put much because it's going to expand, right? So I put, now I'm going to try to take my finger off here without moving this camera. So I put a pretty good amount of the glue on there. I do not want it to be on this back piece here, all right? Because I want to be able to put material on there. So here's what I've got. Let me just wipe that down a little bit. And don't worry if it goes through onto the lens, because while it's still wet, it's easy to wipe off. Okay, so here's what you should be looking at. And I'm going to try to get this as close as I can. I've got the glue here in this side. It's going to expand and wrap around that, okay? Do you need to wet the surface first with that glue? No, you don't. That glue will just actually fall into place. It's a multi-purpose, strong as hell glue. You don't need to wet any of the surface. Just have yourself a good alcohol wipe. If you don't have an alcohol wipe, you kind of, you probably want to, I guess, maybe dampen it, but I would not try this without an alcohol wipe. All right, so here's the next step. Once you're sure that your lens is good, your ribbon is towards the USB side, your buttons are to the left, here you go, okay? What you're going to do next is you're going to take some of your paper towel. Let me zoom out now and show you what I'm going to do. And this is a method that I would do when I was re-tipping the Q stick on my pull stick. You use the same method, so we're going to try this with this, and this is how I came up with it. go ahead and make a very nice and thick square, okay, or whatever, just something, some padding, okay. And here's what I would do. Here's what I do. I'm going to go ahead and place it as hard as I can, or as stable as I can, over the camera, all right, so it doesn't move. Now that's where I want it, right there. So press it in place. Now if you turn this around, I got to twist my arm, so to speak, but if you turn that around, you're going to see a little bit of residue coming out where the lens is. It's not bad. It's not going to cause a problem, because you're going to take your alcohol pad and wipe it before it starts drying. So again, make sure your camera's straight. Drop the towel in, press it hard, and now get your rubber band. And the rubber band is going to hold this in place. So bear with me a second, because I know I've just taken it off camera, but I want to make sure that I get everything in place. So when I turn this over, I'm going to wipe this residue off. It will not seep through, so that's it, and it doesn't stick. I mean, you're not going to have any kind of film or anything showing once you do this. So I'm sorry, let me just try to show you the best way to do it. So make this padding as thick as possible, I guess. Take a rubber band and just wrap it around, and do it kind of tight, because you don't want that lens to move, right? So you're gonna, just like that. Now, you don't have to have it sitting on the lens, so you can lift this side off so you can make sure everything looks okay. And that is how you fix the jello effect on your Firefly. Let the rubber band sit there, wipe your lens off, and you've just now solved the problem. In a few hours, that glue is going to be hardened or dry. It would have spread nicely and covered up the entire area. And then you just take the rubber band off, the paper towel pops right off, and you will put the ribbon back into the board, which I'll show you how to do all that, okay? So, I mean, there's just no sense in sitting here for 2 hours live while we're doing that. But that's how you guys are gonna do it, okay? So just make sure that the biggest thing is make sure your camera is sitting perfectly straight, because if you glue it like this and you've got it turned, then all your videos are gonna be kind of crooked. So just make sure it's straight, and the best way to do it is it lines up perfect with the ribbon, all right? So if the ribbon is straight to the edge, so I'll take this one that was sent back to me that was broken. Remember, the buttons go to the left, so when you put this ribbon in, it's gonna look just like this. I guess you could also say that the logo is on the opposite side of the ribbon. Make sure it's perfectly straight. It's a square, so it's not hard to eyeball this, but you can also look at the ribbon edge. Make sure it's straight, and once it's there, drop your glue, put your rubber band on, and you're good to go. That's how I did it, and it works. It works every time. Again, if you guys didn't see me take this glass off, for those of you, because there's only 2 people at the beginning, make sure you use a heat gun. I've got mine set at 190 degrees. Sorry, there's a Fox News alert that came across. I've got mine set at 190 degrees Celsius, and then for a few seconds you're just passing over the glass, and then it'll just peel off with a X-Acto knife. It'll just nicely peel off. You can see right here that you have that glue strip. If you try to go at this without it being heated up enough, you will crack this very thin piece of glass somewhere. It may not affect your video, but it just sucks to know that you cracked the glass. Okay, so guys, that is I guess the part 1 of this, because we're going to need to dry this out. I mean, to let it dry. But you know what? I can kind of give you an idea here. So if you don't see the second portion, again, this is a camera that was sent to me that was broken, sorry, no, not this one. This one. This is the good one. So it was sent to me broken. And in this case, you could actually, like I said, you could resolder the microphone on. I know, Jordan, you said your microphone wasn't working. So once you get this piece dried, you will snap this ribbon back in, like so. Lift up that door, snap it in, right? Fold the door back down. And then the camera will fit just like this. And you will put your screw back in. And I think this is where the guy had actually broke this, so it may not be as easy for me to show you, but you'll put your screw back in here. You'll put your other one in here, and you will put the back on it. Put your battery should automatically be soldered. It shouldn't be apart like this one. Put it back together, and you're done. So that'll make it easy for you guys that don't see the second part of this, but for anybody else, if you do want to see the second part, as soon as that's dry, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But the hardest part is getting that thing mounted. Everything else is just putting it back together the way it was. Okay, so yes, it's rattling around and my power button isn't working. Yeah, so that's what you're gonna do. I mean, once you do that, Jordan, it'll be perfect. Okay, so that's it. It was probably the quickest video, 20 minutes. But we'll be back to show you guys how to mount it. If there's anything else you guys need, a quick video of anything, let me know. I really like doing these if they help y'all out. Okay, so that's it, and I will talk to you guys soon. And okay, bye for now. See you.